Justin Lukvar with a review of the new mixtape by Big K.R.I.T entitled It's Better This Way. Big K.R.I.T is a Mississippi rapper slash producer currently signed to Def Jam Records, and he showed up on the scene in 2005, but I'm actually ashamed that I don't know him because he's been so prevalent since then. He's released at least 2 albums, 2 EPs, I think it's 12 mixtapes, and probably 25, 26 singles. So clearly he is very active in the hip-hop community. I'm going to have an interesting viewpoint concerning this mixtape because I've had to look backwards to place this project in his musical timeline. After listening to this album, It's Better This Way, I went back and listened to his mixtape K.R.I.T Was Here, which was released in 2010, and I really enjoyed that one. That and his current mixtape, I think, are good examples of what K.R.I.T believes he's bringing to the hip-hop scene. If you listen to him enough, you'll agree that K.R.I.T sees himself as a southern rapper who is breaking the stereotype and that the South is merely a smaller branch of the hip-hop scene and is struggling to compete with other prominent areas of the country, especially these in the West. And of course, I disagree with that because you can listen to many examples of successful, influential southern rappers such as Outkast, Ludacris, UGK, among tens of others. And Big K.R.I.T focuses on these southern themes and the struggle he has experienced to be recognized at the level he feels he deserves. Big K.R.I.T knows how to create that southern sound of hip-hop with a heavy influence of jazz and R&B, mixing with heavy and hard-hitting beats. Big K.R.I.T, being a producer as well, can then create a lot of variation on his works, pulling from all areas of influences. I mean, some of the songs in this mixtape, It's Better This Way, you can hear clear Outkast influences, Kanye West, and even early Ludacris. He can give aggressive deliveries of his verses or lay it back and give that chill vibe that people like. It's Better This Way is Big K.R.I.T's response to his constant struggle to get that backing from Def Jam and national recognition of his work. The album cover is a beautiful piece of artwork with 2 paths depicting the choices that Big K.R.I.T has to make moving his art along in the future. Take a look at the sign that separates the 2 lanes, and I think it clarifies his intention for this mixtape. The dark path is labeled as regular, follower, ordinary, and pressure, and in contrast, the greener path with the sunshine is the mixtape's title, It's Better This Way. Big K.R.I.T is saying he's going to turn away from the pressure to follow and produce unoriginal material, to just make album sales or get radio play. Rather, he's going to continue to do his style, create his own opportunities, and keep his current followership. And that's how I entered into Big K.R.I.T's world. This guy says he's got something to offer, gives me a clear roadmap of what he wants to do, so I said prove it. The first track is King Part 4. Part 4 because he used this title and theme before in previous works. But I love the scene he created with the music, using a jazzy soprano sax over some really chill music. He has a cymbals crash that creates so much drive and then matches perfectly to the aggressive delivery of his lyrics, which question if people are hearing his message that he has a southern viewpoint to offer and will continue to work hard and sacrifice to get that out. Here's where you can see Big K.R.I.T's talent as a producer because that saxophone rises and falls with the level of K.R.I.T's aggression. Musically, Big K.R.I.T knows his stuff. He's using clear samples of sexy bass lines, live instruments. He knows how to layer tracks over each other to create the scene he wants. And I constantly point to the bass lines that he uses. Like on track 4, No Static. If you focus on the bass line, it's just like sitting in a jazz lounge with a bass player just sitting up there killing it. Even though the song sounds heavily influenced by West Coast, Dr. Dre synth, he still finds a way to make it sound southern. He uses that Dr. Dre high synth, but so sparingly that it doesn't get in the way of the bass line. The same thing is done to the track How About That Money? Because he's sprinkling that high synth with a laid-back funky bass line, but then he finds a way to incorporate a 3-6 Mafia influence. And then proving that he's a talented producer, Big K.R.I.T brings back that lounge vibe with the saxophone and layered singing vocals in the track Vanilla Sky, all while showing he knows how to create like an Andre 3000 vibe. I think I enjoy Big K.R.I.T mostly when he creates the jazz environments and encourages me just to chill out and listen to his vocals. I think my favorite track musically on this mixtape is Can't Be Still. He uses layered vocals on the hook to create an Outkast vibe, and then has his soulful singer just like layering runs on top of the track, and then even gives us like a vibraphone in the background. Even the lyrics that Big K.R.I.T offers on this track are really chill, but he does this as he discusses how hard he has worked, but the trade-off is that he's created an environment where he can't stop working for fear that he'll lose what little or limited backing he has already. And then on the hard-hitting tracks, such as 86, a track where he raps about his 86 Monte Carlo, and on this track it includes like hard snare and like this bass line that every time I hear it, I just want to turn it up. Big K.R.I.T proves that he can give aggressive deliveries of lyrics on verses. And this song is a response to what K.R.I.T is saying is the new Southern rap, which is like heavily trap-based. And so he's using the 86 Monte Carlo as proof, saying that it's better to focus on the old school influence of the Southern hip-hop world. But here is where I feel K.R.I.T shows his weakness. He can't create captivating hooks. For me, hooks are opportunities. I'm sure you can point to a song where the hook is as strong as itself that it can be a verse all on its own. But K.R.I.T has his formula that he uses throughout all his works. As I found out on the earlier mixtape, K.R.I.T was here. And he's constantly wasting opportunities to show me that he has something new and original. Take the hook for 86, which goes 86, 86, 86, 86. And then you go onto the hook for the next song, Piece on Chain. I got my piece on chain, I got that piece on chain. I got that piece on chain, I got that piece on chain. And then the next song is titled Shake 'Em Off. So naturally, shake 'em off, shake 'em off, shake 'em off. Shake 'em like a motherfucker, shake 'em off. And then the next song, How About That Money? How about that money? How about that money? How about that money? I think it's a very dangerous position to take, saying that you are deserving of more credit, that you represent an underappreciated subgenre within the hip-hop world, that you're going to be the one to be original and not give in to the pressure. It makes people say, prove it. You have to constantly bring your A game and not waste opportunities to wow me. A lot of the tracks I just mentioned, I love the music. Like, I want to turn up the volume because it's so hard hitting more often than not. But when you give me repetition, it better be so good that I want to hear it again. One song I think he was trying to experiment on was In the Darkness. He gives what sounds like a dance track synth in the back, like a club mix, but puts on like a terrible pitch-corrected vocal on top of it. I just don't think it matches with the rest of the mixtape. It just essentially wasn't a successful experiment. Overall, Big K.R.I.T is a very talented producer. He is capable of giving very lyrical deliveries on his verses. He self-describes as a Southern rapper, and I wholeheartedly agree with him on that. But I point to his formulaic approach to the creation of his hooks as a major point where Big K.R.I.T can improve. Clearly, by putting out so much work so often, Big K.R.I.T is a hardworking, devoted musician and will continue to be. The downside is that with all the production, he makes it very evident of what his style is. And if you're unwilling to evolve it, then you're just going to stay stagnant. I'll give this mixtape a 6 out of 10. Though I enjoyed the musical environment that Big K.R.I.T is very talented creating, I'm referring to the use of the layered vocals on the hooks and the bridges. I think that really adds to the chill environment that he's really good at making. I feel that he has a lot of work to continue forward. I'm going to go back and listen to his other works. I'm going to go back and I'm excited to listen to his other songs. And on this mixtape, there are a lot of songs I'm going to keep in my current playlist. But if I'm going through the track list and deleting certain ones from the iPod, then clearly this mixtape has a lot of room to grow as a whole.